Hello from TAMIU Advanced Research and Curriculum. This video contains selected clips from the live virtual workshop Defending and Finalizing Your Thesis, which was hosted by TAMIU ARC's Writing Consultant, Franco Zamora, on April 20th, 2021. This video is all about the post-defense final revision process for TAMIU Thesis 2 and dissertation students. The information in this video is crucial for thesis and dissertation students who are planning to graduate in spring or summer 2021. Please contact us if you have questions or concerns related to the thesis or dissertation. Thank you. So the session is being recorded for other students who couldn't be here because this is really, really important information today, especially if you're planning to submit, if you're working on thesis 2, you're hoping to graduate soon. This is going to be super important. I'm going to share my screen, and once I do, you're going to see why this is a little bit different than some of the other things that I've been working on. Some of our previous workshops. Share my screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen, and you can see already that I'm ahead in a box in a different chat altogether. I'm sharing video not through Blackboard right now, but through Teams, Microsoft's Teams application. Teams is going to be the way that we're going to be communicating revisions and changes to your thesis once you submit it. That's going to come from both myself and from my counterpart in the College of Arts and Sciences office, Miguel. But we'll get to that in a second. I just wanted to show you how Teams operates. It's very similar to Blackboard or to Google Hangouts or other video like Zoom. I'm going to get into a lot of detail with it. If you want to get ahead of me here, feel free to try and log into your TAMIU email account and access Teams so that you can access the Teams meeting link ahead of when I get to it. The meeting link, as you will see right here, the meeting link should be accessible right here. If I choose to meet now, I can get you a link. I'm going to post that into the chat here. That's going to be important. If you want to try and access that when I get to it, it'll be really, really useful for you to get started with how Teams operates and other things like that. Just sign in through your TAMIU email and get started with that. And then this looks kind of intimidating, but it's kind of split into two things. You don't have to focus on the first part of that, which is about proposals, thesis 1. Most of the new stuff here is coming from thesis 2. Once you get to that successful post-final defense, your committee will suggest any more revisions that they might have. That's kind of common. It's kind of common for the committee to say, I didn't like that you left out this author, or I think you should reformat your table of contents, or whatever it is that you're missing. And then after that, they say, well, let's go into signing things. They sign a bunch of things if you've been successful in your defense, which I hope you will be. Once they do all that, the committee chair, delivers your manuscript and the signed documents to COAS and the deans. From there, that's where things start to take a turn, and COAS and the deans will have you get in touch with the graduate school, and that's myself and Miguel Rangel. He's the other guy who works in COAS and does the revisions. And we will work on revisions virtually for the first time. So it's going to be a little bit different. We used to have a different system, but now we're going to be working at the same time collaboratively, and it's going to be great. You'll see in a second. And after you're done with revisions, hopefully quickly, the manuscript and the notifications go to the registrar, who says that you're prepared to graduate, and they let you graduate, and then your final draft is published by the library. Any forms or anything that you need signed, most of the time your chair will have it if they're ready. If they're not, then you can find them there at the link. I will provide this document for anybody who needs that link at the end of this presentation. And you can also check any tips or things you need from the manual, pages you might be missing on our website. And this is the old flowchart. I wanted to include it just to show you a visual of how things are going to be changing using Microsoft Teams. This is the old flowchart. This is the new flowchart. You can see that there is a new step right there in the middle. And I realized that it says 7 twice on those steps on the bottom. But with the new flowchart, it just says, it basically just boils down to your revisions will come from COAS and from the graduate school at the same time. It used to be that COAS would get your revisions and then graduate school would get your revisions one after the other. Now they're going to be simultaneous, and that's good for you because it means that it takes less time. But it also means that we have to use a bunch of new systems and a bunch of new technology and stuff to get all those revisions in. It is a little bit more complicated, but it's nothing that you can't handle if you're already using Blackboard or checking your email through Microsoft Office. It really is not a big deal, and I'll show you all of that in a second. Your deadlines are here. If you're working on Thesis 2, which it sounds like most of you are, or most people are this semester, the final defense deadline is essentially this week, but could go all the way up to next week. You might get as far as defending next week and then submitting to COAS exactly the same day. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend that you take as much time as you can, that if you can defend this week or early next week, that you do it, and that you don't wait to get those revisions into COAS, because if you can't get them into COAS by April 30th, which is not this Friday, but next Friday, you will end up having to repeat, take another incomplete, or finish or graduate next semester rather than this semester. So it becomes kind of a hassle for you. It's not impossible to do, but it's not fun either. Just if you can defend this week or early next week, that's what I recommend. Your final revisions will be due by May 14th, but honestly, with the way that revisions have been going the last few days, and if you stay in touch with COAS and myself, those revisions go very quickly. The last thesis, we finished it in 3 days, which is ridiculously quick. It used to take us weeks to finish them. So again, the new system, I'm really hoping that it'll be useful for you and for us, and I'll get around to talking about that. This is Microsoft Teams. If you're not familiar with it, it is an application very similar to Google Hangouts. This is my calendar. As you can see, this is not very exciting right now. These are my files. As you can see, I've got a bunch of them. My files are placed here through the Microsoft OneDrive cloud storage. OneDrive is kind of like Microsoft's answer to Google Docs. If you use those, it's very similar. The difference here is that it's less about using. It's a little less collaborative, but it is still collaborative. I'm going to go ahead and upload, or these are files that I've already uploaded. I guess I could show you that I could upload a new file if I wanted to. If I wanted to upload a file, I would just go to OneDrive here. And I could add files from here. I'm using the desktop version of Microsoft Teams. You can download it and get it if you want it. Or you can just use it in your browser by accessing it through the TAMIU email account that you have set up as a student. Let me walk through that and for you all, because I feel like that's how most people are going to be accessing it. I only made a quick video on this as well. In your case, you would use your Dusty account. I'm going to be using the mail account because I'm staff. I'm an employee here at TAMIU, so yours would look a little bit different, but it mostly is going to look the same. Once you get here, you want to click here on these buttons on the side. Once you've signed in and everything. And your apps will pop up here. You have all apps. I've been using OneDrive and Teams a lot recently, so you can see that they're already pre-selected for me. I'm not going to select either of them right now because there wouldn't be any point because I already have them open here. The thing about Teams really is what it is it's collaborative. So if I open this, I've been working on this MLA 8 guide. And I've been working on this guide with my assistant, or with our graduate writing assistant, Janessa Barlanga, who's not here right now. But when Janessa makes revisions here, I can see them. And as you can see, that this looks just like a PowerPoint. Like there's no visual difference between this and any other PowerPoint. It is, for all intents and purposes, just a PowerPoint. So what'll eventually happen is when it's time for you to do revisions, when your revisions need to be finalized by the College of Arts and Sciences and the Graduate School, I or Miguel, one or the other, will get your documents that you will send after you finish defending your work. And then from there, I will add those files to my OneDrive. And then I will have something very similar to this open. This is one of the files I'm working on right now. And then I'll copy the link and give you access to it, or I'll share access with you directly. And from there, we'll use either the collaborative function where I can make notes on something. This paper doesn't have any notes, but I could add some notes right here. And then you'll be able to access those notes in real time directly. So there's no more waiting, there's no more emailing back and forth. Once you have access to this file, you will be able to see my notes and you'll be able to make changes really, really quickly. That's really excellent, especially if I'm going to be making notes and then the College of Arts and Sciences representative Miguel will make his notes as well. That's how it's been working, and that's been really quick. The other thing that might happen is we might go into the chat, which is right here. And you can see that I have various chats here. I have one with Miguel right here. I won't show you what's in here. But the way that chat's going to work is I'll add you to the chat and then we'll just talk here. Or we can make calls directly. Using this here. So there's lots of different ways to get in touch with us through Teams. There's a lot of sharing that can happen, and it's going to be really quick. As long as you have Teams set up. If you have problems getting into Teams, you really want to contact the Office of Information Technology here at TAMIU. Their number is 23, or the extension is 2310, so that's 956-326-2310. And they will walk you through setting up Teams. And that's really all I have for you guys right now. If you need help, if you need my specific help, you can contact me. Again, I will email this link to everybody at the end of the presentation. If you need to set up an appointment with me specifically, that's available right there. If you want to reserve a study space here in Pellegrino 203, we've got 2 study rooms that for graduate students specifically, so you can make those appointments there. And of course, contact us at writingconsultant@tamiu.edu. There's my phone number there on the screen, and we're located in Pellegrino 203 on the TAMIU campus.